Hey everyone, it's Jen. And first, I completely forgot that this is 1 year and 1 month since I started doing income reports. And so, if you followed along through the last year, you'll see where we had this like roller coaster ride. We were just kicking booty, and then Google just snockered us. And then we've slowly been pivoting and making this crazy new roller coaster high, and I have so much to share with you this month. I mean, we're talking like mind-blowing stuff, and just it was so quick, and it kind of feels like overnight, but I feel like I laid this foundation for so long and I'm so excited. So let's get into all that. Okay, so let's start with some basics. This is GA4, and you can tell that with April versus May, at first glance, it looks like we're down about 10 to 12%, depending on if you look at sessions or if you look at page views. But you'll notice we have this weird little dippy do over here in May. And there's about 2.5 days worth of data that I accidentally removed the Google Analytics plugin, whatever. And so GA4 just wasn't pulling any data. So why would I have this? Well, so let's look at my ad provider. Now, for the last year, I have had She Media on my main site, and my contract came up in March, and that's when I realized that you had to give them 60 days notice. So I put in my notice basically like 10 days before Journey was even announced, because I had heard something big was going to happen and I knew it could probably affect me, and I didn't want to get stuck with She Media for a whole nother year. So my contract was up with them on May 9th. So I actually removed everything She Media and the plugin and everything on May 10th. I also had not heard back from Journey yet, so I went ahead and applied for AdSense. And in the past, when I had applied for AdSense, it could take 2 weeks to hear that I had thin content, or, it took a couple tries. So I was very shocked that I applied May 10th, and then like May 11th, I got the email saying I was approved. I don't know if it was because I had previously had AdSense on this site. So I put AdSense on there. And then, of course, the RPMs on AdSense were like nothing compared to She Media. So I was getting a little down. And then all of a sudden I check my email and I get the email from Journey. And so the Journey invite came on May 14th. And I was able to basically remove Google AdSense and switch it over to Journey. It took like an hour. It was really very simple. And to be honest with you, I was a little worried because I had heard that Journey was kind of a self-service thing, similar to kind of like how a Zoic is self-service. And I struggled getting a Zoic on the site. And so I was a little nervous because I'm not tech savvy, but it was actually very simple. It was actually very similar to setting up She Media. When you do get approved with She Media, they give you like a checklist of like 22 items that you have to complete. Journey's checklist was maybe 6. It was very simple. And so as of May 14th, my main site is now on Journey. So let's keep going. Just in case you didn't know if Google still hates this site, they do. So the top is April, where you see it started to decline, and then it still is kind of declining in May. We have a few little bumps and pops, but overall, I mean, it's depressing to look at. And honestly, I just don't pull up Google Search Console all that much, but it's still interesting that my number one search term, and actually my number one and number two, is versions of the site name. So when really the only traffic I'm getting from Google are those that are searching for the site directly. And I've checked it a couple times. If you search my site name, it comes up with, my YouTube, my Facebook, all the everything for that site. And that's pretty much the only Google traffic that I'm getting. Just for giggles, because I just like, inflicting pain here, but this is Google Search Console since January 1st. As you can see, it wasn't bad at the beginning, and then it's just slowly tapering off. I mean, this is, I guess, like a reverse hockey stick, but it's kind of depressing. Oh, wait, it does get more depressing because if you look at Google Search Console since April of last year, so this is just really 1 year's worth of, or 1 year and 1 month's work. In April, you got to see like my great hockey stick growth. It was growing week over week, and then HCU hit, and then it just, chopped us off. And then we had a little spike around Thanksgiving, and then it dropped again. And then it just continued to stay. And then March hit, and it just kind of obliterated us. So even though we thought we were going to be okay, now I honestly have no use for Google. I mean, it used to bring in over 1,000 clicks a day, and now I think we're at like 20. And like I said, the majority of that is the name of my site. And I know we can hold our breath and wait for Google to figure it out and maybe actually become helpful like they said they were going to be, but I can't wait around forever for that. So these last couple months has really been focusing on other things and trying to truly be helpful, even if Google doesn't think so. Now, how do we be helpful? Well, we go where people go. And for me, the majority of that is Pinterest. Um, you can see that Google only brought 1,000 visitors. That's it. Now, keep in mind, this is missing like 2.5 days worth of data, but it's not really that big of a difference. You will notice that Bing is kind of hit or miss. It kind of goes up and down. DuckDuckGo is up this month. Facebook is still steadily climbing. And the bottom one is YouTube. My YouTube channel for this site has started to take off a little bit, nothing huge. I only have about 500 subscribers, but I'm noticing like the same people are coming back week after week. So I think that's a good sign. Um, Pinterest is kind of funny because it does fluctuate a good amount, but you know what? I have kind of that set it and forget it Pinterest strategy, and it's still working. It's still bringing, quite a bit of traffic. Now, here's the data from Pinterest. It's always a little bit different than GA4. I'm not sure why, but you can see that it did bring, according to Pinterest, a little under 5,000, which is down a little bit from 5,500. But I do think it has to do with summertime and people being outdoors more and not necessarily scrolling on their phone as much as they do like during the spring and the winter time. But I expect that this will remain pretty steady. It may go down for the next couple months, but then I'll see it start to go back up. Now, for the main site, I had really started ramping up the content, and then I started looking at the return on those articles. And I noticed that about 12 articles a month that I was writing was still kind of for Google, as far as those were the types of articles that Google really liked in the past. And I was continuing to do them just in case Google changed its mind. But honestly, they didn't do well on any of my social media. So I was like, why exactly am I doing this? I have, a ton of those type articles. If I start seeing a shift, I can always start posting them again. But really, I'm just taking the data from those articles and just posting them on social media instead of having like the page where all that data lives. It's just now kind of in like a more infographic type frame of mind. But you'll see last month I only did 19. In the future months, you'll probably see it'll be about 12 to 14 a month. And I know content is king, but I realize that not everything has to live on my website. It can live and do fine on Facebook and even YouTube, and it didn't have to always go back to my site. So I've mentioned Facebook a bunch, and that's one of my big focuses now. I really love Facebook because I get that very instant reaction from my followers and my fans. They're very vocal in what they want and what they want to see more of. And so I just have to kind of lean into that and make it work with my brand. Now, my audience reach did go down in May because you see in April it was 172K and it went down to like 149. that's not necessarily a bad thing because you always hear people talk about their Facebook reach, but I really should have been tracking my engagement because even though that reach went down, my engagement has steadily been going up to the point where for every two people I reach, one of them will engage. Whereas you see some of these bigger pages, they may have for every seven people that they reach, only one person engages. And you'll see why that's important here in a minute. So this is the first big shocker. Last month, I was ecstatic because I made $334 on Facebook. Well, May blew that out of the water. So because of all that engagement on Facebook, I made $787.58. Wow. Now, in case you didn't know, Facebook bonus is by invite only. I am convinced that your engagement to followers has to get to a certain level before you will get that invite, which is why you see pages that have like 60 or 70,000 followers that still don't have a bonus, but you see people that have 5,000 followers or even less that get the bonus because I got mine at 1,800 followers and nobody had ever really heard of that before. Now, what's great though is this amount was from May 1st to May 31st, and then it'll get deposited into my account on June 22nd. So it's very quick turnaround. It's not like some of the ad networks where it's like net 65 or net 90. So it's actually pretty quick. So that was just the first shocker. Let's look at some more. Okay, so here is the ad revenue. Now keep in mind that I am more with keeping people engaged on Facebook, and I'm not actually sending a ton of traffic to my website. It's more like, hey, if you like this post and you want more information or you want a free PDF, then go to my website. Pinterest actually drives the most like browsing traffic. And I feel like because Pinterest is my number one traffic source, it explains why my RPMs are so high. So with She Media for just those first 10 days made $64.13. AdSense made $47.28, but I have a couple sites on AdSense. So I believe that for this site, it was maybe like $6 or $7. But then for the last 2 weeks, I had Journey and I made $171.84. So for all the ad revenue, came out to $283.25, which is not bad. Now, I haven't heard a lot of people talking about RPMs on Journey yet because I don't think that many people are on it that actually share their information. So I wanted to show you, it's a very simple dashboard and you can't really specify a date range. So this amount here, the 225, it actually goes from, I think it's May 14th to June 5th. So that's why the numbers don't add up. But if you look on the first day, my RPM was only 576, which was kind of comparable to AdSense. So I was getting a little nervous, but it immediately started going up. And the yellow line represents the RPM. On May 31st, the RPM was $32.94. And that's not even the highest point. The highest one I had was close to $40 on a day. So I'm really excited because they said it could take 4 to 6 weeks to fully ramp up. And I think I'm only at 3 weeks. So it'll be interesting to see where that RPM kind of stabilizes at. And then, of course, we're going to be coming in, we're in the second quarter now, and we still have third and fourth quarters, and those are traditionally higher than the first and the second one. So let's keep going. So here's my other little surprise. Now, I have admitted in the past that I am a horrible affiliate marketer, okay? I've done the links on my site. I've had the 0.0001% conversion rate, and I just literally never even made enough affiliate income to even get to the bare minimum to where I could get a payout. but my brand really worked well with Walmart. So I saw that there was a Walmart creator program, which is similar to like the Amazon influencer, but instead of doing shoppable videos, I can do links to different products available at Walmart. And if somebody clicks that link and then makes a purchase, I make a commission. Now, if somebody buys food, it only comes out to a 1% commission. But if people buy things like household goods or basically anything that's not food or pharmacy, it's 18% commission. So the other great thing is they have a pretty big, what do you call it, like a cookie window where I believe Amazon, it's only 24 hours once somebody clicks your link. With Walmart, I'm pretty sure it's a 2-week window. So I'm super excited. Within just, 2 weeks, I already made $115. And let me tell you, I did not drop a ton of links on social media or my website for this. So this is pretty awesome, a very big surprise. So with all those income sources together, in the month of May, we made $1,185.54. I feel like confetti should be going off and balloons and super excited because I have been dreaming about hitting that 4-digit milestone for a long time. We're at 2.5 years in, and I cannot believe I hit the $1,000 a month milestone. We got super close when we got to like 625, and I was like, man, if we could just double this. Well, in April we did 588, and 1185 is 101% increase. I literally was just blown away. Then when I looked at what I made in May of 2023, the total was only $310.67. So we made almost 3 times that amount. And that just blows my mind. And honestly, this has shown me that when you focus on one website versus having multiples, and then when you really focus on your audience and what they need and what's helpful, that you can really, really grow your income in not a scammy way, but in a helpful way. And it was just really nice to finally get rewarded for my time that I put into this, because prior to this, I was making like 12 cents an hour. And so I think I'm up to like $2 an hour. I mean, we're not like, millionaires here, but I mean, who couldn't use an extra $1,200? So I'm really excited, and I'm really going to keep focusing on what's working. And hopefully next month we will get even higher. And I remember years ago when there was a lot of people doing their income reports on YouTube, and you would see that, they were kind of steady, and then all of a sudden their income would kind of jump, and then it would jump again, and it would jump again, and it would jump again. And so my first thought was, oh my gosh, am I in one of those jumping periods where, we were at 300, then it was 350, then it was 430, then it was 588, and now it's 1185. What in the world are we going to jump to next? Well, I don't know, but I'm excited to find out. So hopefully you'll come back next month and we'll get to have some more excitement, noisemakers and all that. So please let me know how you're doing, if you've tried any new programs or just new pivoting ways to get traffic. And just remember, my traffic is down a lot, but my income is through the roof compared to that traffic. I can only imagine if I still had 50,000 page views a month, what my income would be now that I have it in a more diversified way. Because I believe Google only accounts for like 10% of my traffic now, whereas they used to be, I think, 87% at one time. So if you're a website owner and you're struggling, even if Google does come back, they can always take it back again. So try to, branch out, find what you enjoy doing and what your audience enjoys, and just keep doing that. Because now, we always said we were audience focused before, but I feel like we're really audience focused now, and it's obviously paying off. So we're doing something right. So I hope you all have a great week. Thanks. Bye.